Hey you guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new and updated residency Q&A. I just realized that the last time I filmed an actual Q&A was the end of my second year of medical school before I'd even taken step 1 or started clinical rotations. Now I'm in residency doing my intern year in LA. That is actually mind-blowing to me. Time truly flies. So if that gives you any perspective, I always want to practice gratitude for where I am in life. Every step of the way is so pivotal. Let's just get into this Q&A because I'm actually really excited to answer some of your guys' questions, give you guys some life updates because I honestly have not talked to this camera in a long time and I'm feeling kind of nervous for some reason. I know it's just you and me, but yeah, first date, kind of nervous. Some of these definitely made me laugh. So most of the questions related to either anesthesia, matching, or my love life. I don't really like to talk about my personal life on this channel, but someone actually also asked what happened to Mr. Rabbit. And if you guys were not there for that era of my life, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's address it. I'm not going to say anything bad about him because he was not a bad guy. We broke up over a year ago at this point, last August. Let me tell you something. That experience made me realize I am never going to put a boy I'm dating on this channel again. The moment I posted that YouTube video, literally a month later, we broke up. And then I had to take him off the thumbnail and just never address it because I was like, yeah, we're just not going to talk about that. That era of my life is closed. I genuinely do not think about him at all, really, to this day. I am like a block and move on type of person. I won't tell you the details of why we broke up and how it happened, but it wasn't messy. We were already having a lot of arguments for a while. I eventually reached a breaking point where I realized I just have to cut this off for my sanity and my peace. Sometimes you truly just have to protect your peace. I am usually a pretty positive person, but it was to the point where I was sleeping at 3 a.m. every day because I was crying so much about the situation, wishing that he would change and become the person that I needed him to be. It just wasn't gonna happen. The day I broke up with him was the best sleep of my life. Mind you, this was all occurring in August, right before residency applications were due. I was supposed to be working on my personal statement. I was supposed to be working on ERAS. I was supposed to be going to open houses. I had already missed a couple by the time I woke the fuck up and realized I need to lock in, get my application done. I had so much time that I had wasted thinking about him that I now got to put into my future. Yeah, I can honestly say I think it worked out for the best. I'm now living in my dream city at my dream residency program, doing what I always wanted to do, and the rest of my 4th year was not spent crying every night, and I got to spend it with my girlfriend. So I really do think I made the right decision and wish him all the best. I have no ill will towards him. I hope he gets the help he needs. I will talk a little bit about my love life later on in this video just to keep things spicy. So now I'm going to answer a more serious question, which I've also touched on a little bit in some of my older videos because this is the reason why I started my channel. But someone asked if it's too personal, you can skip, but do you mind sharing tips on how to not get food guilt? I don't know if everyone knows this because I don't really talk about it anymore on my channel because it's not as big of an issue in my life as it used to be. But the reason why I originally started my channel was because I had dealt with a lot of food issues in high school and into college. I really wanted to show, especially other young people out there watching my videos and seeing me eat, doing my what I eat in a day, that it's okay to eat full ass meals. I was under the impression when I was younger that you had to be a certain size, you had to eat a certain way, and I really started to go down a rabbit hole where I started to demonize food, not want to eat sugar, not want to eat dairy. I would think about every single meal that I was eating. I was calorie counting every little thing I ate. I lost my period for a year. I thought that was okay. I was getting dizzy. I think I had to go to the hospital once because I was hypoglycemic. I look back at that time and I just wish I could give that girl a hug. If that's something that you're still struggling with, I want to give you a virtual hug because people don't really understand. It's not so much an eating thing. It's more of like a mental thing too. The way it felt was that when life sometimes feels out of control, food is something that you can control. That's the way that I exercise my control over my life. What helped me the most to not feel food guilt was during COVID, I was at home with my mom and dad and my sister and eating my mom's home cooked food, not really thinking about what ingredients were in it, not calorie counting, just being happy. I can't tell you how to do that in your own life, but I think it's something deeper than addressing just having food guilt for eating too much or eating too little or not eating the things that you thought you were going to eat that day. It really comes down to finding a deeper happiness and peace within your life and yourself so that food isn't something that you feel that you need to control. I will say I am so proud of a lot of you guys who watch my videos. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me being like, I used to watch you in high school, or I used to watch you in middle school or college. You helped me work through my eating disorder and overcome it. Those kinds of comments and like messages are truly why I still make videos, why I still find this so rewarding, because I definitely have my thoughts on social media and I do see a lot of the toxic sides of it, so I do try to stay off as much as I can. Surround yourself with people that support you and understand you and love you unconditionally. Eventually, the food guilt for me started to fade away. Would I rather miss this dinner with my friends, this memory that I could have with my friends, just because I don't want to eat this food that I don't know how many calories are in, that I don't know all the ingredients? I am not a dietitian. I can only tell you what worked for me. So if you are struggling, I would recommend actually reaching out to medical professionals to get help for an eating disorder if you feel like you have one. Let's go back to a more fun topic. I got a couple people asking, what is dating in Philly versus LA like? And then any updates with your love life? I've had this shift in my mindset recently, and it really does ebb and flow. I am only 25. I just turned 25. I still have so much growing to do as a person and so much time to find my husband that it's not at the forefront of my mind as much as I love gossiping, talking about boys with my friends. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not that serious about it right now, only because I am so busy with my career. During intern year, during residency period, you barely have time to date. I have had one day off a week for the last 2 months. It's honestly been kind of brutal. As much as I love doing what I do, being a physician, taking care of my patients, it really does lead to burnout, and I am tired. On my one day off, I kind of want to spend it doing things that I want to do with the people I know will make me happy and feel really fulfilled, which is usually my girlfriends. Recently, I did have, I would say, an unsavory experience. A couple months ago, I would say, I feel like I did have a talking stage with someone that I had a big crush on, to be honest. Looking back, I don't know if he knew it was a talking stage, which is probably for the best. I am the type of person that is pretty straightforward to the point. I hate playing games. I came to a point where I just started feeling like I was bothering him by texting him. He would wait day, 2 days to reply. It really started to feel like it was an inconvenience to him to even hang out with me. And honestly, you should never feel that way. You should feel really desired. My experience with boys is when they want something, you will know. It's the classic, if he wanted to, he would. And I'm not saying if you're doing absolutely nothing, you're not sending signals, you're literally giving him the evil eye, and then you're like, if he wanted to, he would. No. But if you're giving signals, being really obvious, and then the person is giving you mixed signals, you're starting to feel like, ooh, does he like me or not? He probably doesn't. It's literally like Miranda, my icon, said in Sex and the City, he's just not that into you. And the thing that I always think about when I'm like, oh, should I have tried harder? Do you really want your story to be yeah, my man was into someone else, was not really responding, didn't really like me at first, but I begged and groveled, so he finally came around? No, you don't want that to be a story, darling. You deserve someone that's all about you, that's trying to get you, feels like you're the prize. It's kind of nice being single too, if I'm being completely honest. It's you get to be fun, flirty, and do whatever the fuck you want, which is really nice. If you're single and you're out here feeling some type of way about it, let me tell you, don't. Just be happy, because being single does not last forever. When it's the right one and it just feels right, it should be easy, and I think it'll happen quickly. You're gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have spent all those years being so worried about finding someone. I should have just spent it enjoying. Especially when you're younger, don't spend all of high school and college like pining over someone, because there's so many better things you could be doing with your life. Oh, and to answer the whole dating in Philly versus LA question, honestly, I did not date that much in Philly. I went on a couple dates with people in New York City, and I definitely had some situations within medical school. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to say that I know a lot about dating in Philly versus LA, and I honestly have not dated much since getting back to LA. This is actually the first time I'm living in LA as a young adult. Sometimes I'm just like, how am I already 25? Like, that's crazy. I started medical school when I was 20. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Someone asked, how did you deal with imposter syndrome and find balance in medical school? That was a really tough one, and honestly, if you want to see me answer questions that are more relevant to med school, go watch my other Q&A. I'll put it somewhere in the top here. It honestly never ends. Like, you still have imposter syndrome in residency. I talk about this all the time with my co-residents and friends. We're at this phase of our life where we match to our dream program, because everyone at UCLA is genuinely like so intelligent, so brilliant. They obviously match there for a reason. But sometimes you fail to remember that that still applies to you. It truly is hard to remember that you are the shit. Like, you know, you're at work, you feel like you don't know what's going on, you're doing your best, you feel like you keep doing things wrong. I'm the type of person who's also like a perfectionist, so when I do something, I do my best to improve, but I'm also really hard on myself, and I'm like, I should have known better. All these people know things so much more than me, and I'm behind everyone else, which is absolutely not true. The thing I will tell you is, especially in medical school and residency, people don't really talk about their imposter syndrome as much as they probably should, because these people are so used to being at the top of their game, and I think some people do find it embarrassing to say, hey, I'm struggling with this, or I'm doubting myself in this way and I feel insecure about this. So just know that even if people on the outside look like they've got everything together, even me, it's probably not the case. Everyone's really good at this point at putting on a facade, putting on the image that you need. And to some extent, like, you kind of have to. Like, you don't want to be at work being like, like, I have no idea what's happening. You know, you want to pull it together. You want to, like, do your absolute best. Yeah, it is really tough. The best way to get through the imposter syndrome is to not compare yourself with other people, and it's so much easier said than done. And when you have failures in medical school especially, and you inevitably will fail in life in one way or another, the thing that people want to see, the thing that you want to see, is your comeback story. And every time I've hit rock bottom or something terrible has happened, I do have this thing within me being like, this is going to propel me to do so much better, and I'm gonna be so proud of myself when I have overcome this, and I can look back months, years from now and be like, I did that. Also, one thing I will say is, I know not everyone watching my videos is religious or believes in a higher power, but praying to God and honestly just practicing gratitude, whether it's gratitude to God or gratitude just in general, is so important. Practicing gratitude really grounds you and puts a lot of perspective in your life. Like, even when I've had struggles in medical school, I think to myself, people would literally kill to be in the position that I am in. Same with residency. Like, when you have a hard day at work and you come home and you're feeling really defeated, I always remember I am living someone's dream right now. This is the life that I have dreamed of for like 10 plus years. I feel so lucky to be here, and that's something that I think will take you really far if you can just have a positive outlook on your life. Stop thinking about other people and really just think about, what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to achieve? And how do I want to help others with the things that I'm able to achieve? Because it truly is such a blessing. Yeah, I know that answer might sound really cliche, and if you want the more cut to the chase answer, when you are struggling, sometimes you just gotta do it. There's gonna be hard days, you just gotta keep going, because what are you gonna do? Like, give up? Like, no, like, I'm not about to give up. And in a more serious sense, if you are really struggling right now with imposter syndrome, I believe in you. Truly, I do. I believe you will get through this. And medical school is genuinely so hard. My little sister just started at UAB, and yeah, it's hard. So just know, it's hard for everyone. Even when people don't show it, they be struggling, okay? This is getting a little bit long, so I'm just gonna answer a couple more questions. Someone said, can you talk about your experience matching anesthesia at UCLA? And yes, I'll talk about it a little bit. It was definitely a great experience. Obviously, matching here is my dream program, my dream location. I have genuinely no regrets. I walk into work every day and I'm constantly amazed by the people I get to work with. In the anesthesia department alone, there's some world-class anesthesiologists that have so much to teach and so much experience. I mean, everyone, honestly, is so amazing. And even my co-interns, the residents above me in the program, everyone is so smart. And that's something that really stuck with me. I did a sub-internship in December, a little less than a year ago, of my 4th year of med school. I left feeling, number one, like I worked really hard and I was so tired, but I felt like I was getting better every day. I felt like the people who were teaching me were at the top of their game and I wanted to be like that someday. A lot of my co-interns in my class will say the same thing. When you meet people that are so inspiring to you and that push you to want to be better and do better and take better care of your patients, it makes you want to be in that program because you're like, I need to be trained by these people if I want to be like this one day. It was a very intense 3 weeks on my sub-internship, but I honestly think it was so worth it and it gave me a really good idea of what residency was going to look like when I made my decisions at the end with my rank list and as I interviewed. Obviously, I didn't know if I was going to match here, so I was overjoyed. You can watch my match day or match week vlog. I was genuinely overjoyed. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to come home to California, which has been my dream for like 7+ years because I was on the East Coast for undergrad and med school and I don't really have any family out there. That in of itself was really tough and I didn't realize how tough it actually was looking back until I came home and now my parents can visit me whenever and drop off my dog Chloe with me and my mom drops off home cooked food to me. It's just so different and so nice and obviously the weather is unbeatable and just the vibes. Like I feel like I've always been a West Coast girly. Someone asked, if you didn't do anesthesiology, what would you have done? I think I've answered this in my last Q&A, but I think I would have done ophthalmology. Between my 1st and 2nd year of medical school, I did an ophthalmology summer research internship for like 8 weeks. That was very intense and I did a lot of research. I learned so much and I definitely do love the OR, which is why I chose anesthesiology, but I also thought eyes were really interesting. But in the end, I ended up wanting to do anesthesia just because I actually have a lot of different interests and I just wanted to do something that would allow me to do that. And anesthesia is so special in that regard that you get to do so many different types of cases. You get to take care of the whole body, but also be focusing on that one person all at once. So I definitely feel like I made the right decision for me. I'm so happy in my specialty. I also can't wait till next year when I get to actually start my like CA years and do anesthesia every day. And the last question that I will answer is, how has residency been? How are you doing? I got a lot of questions like that. And to answer that question, I am doing well. I definitely had a struggle adjusting at first, and I think a lot of people do whenever you start a new job, a new thing, in a new place. And I actually started off intern year with some chiller rotations, like consult rotations, things that had like better hours. So it was actually a really nice transition from having 4th year into intern year. So I definitely didn't have that like traumatizing experience that some people have of like starting immediately on wards and going hard every single day. That I'm actually really grateful for because I just finished 2 months of wards, but I actually felt really prepared by the chiller rotations that I had to kind of ease in and get my mind thinking about medicine again. But what I didn't expect was how stressful it would be to make a new friend group again, because I basically met my medical school friends before my 1st year of med school even started at Jefferson's Cookie Hour. I literally met my 3 best friends of med school there. We ended up living in the exact same building. We ended up being friends for the entirety of med school. Literally every weekend we just go out to eat. We were all down to do the same things. We were all had very similar values, really wholesome people. That was something I definitely took for granted. When I came here, I was hoping I would find something like that immediately right off the bat, and that just like didn't happen. It wasn't in the cards, and that's okay. I started feeling like I was missing my med school friends again. Yeah, I still talk to them to this day, but it's really hard to coordinate because we all live in different areas. Like one of my friends is in the south, one of my friends is on the east coast, and our other friend took a gap year and is now doing her whole ERAS process and doing sub-Is and stuff, so she's really busy too. But something someone once told me when I was actually deciding on my rank list and all these things is that you really just need to find one person. It's not about being best friends with everyone. I am really happy to say I do think I found my one person, and I don't mean she's my only friend, but in my program I was so grateful that I found someone that I really vibe with and that just kind of like knows me and we're kind of on the same page at all times. That gave me so much peace. For definitely the first couple of months I was feeling really unsettled and feeling some type of way because I didn't really know like who I could trust. I'm very grateful for my friends that I found, and I'm actually friends with a lot of people in other specialties, so that's something that I'm really grateful about intern year for too, is that we get to work with a lot of people in like the neurology department, the IM department, psychiatry department, especially because we're all at the VA. I've been having a great time overall. There's so many possibilities of places to eat, things to do in LA. I genuinely feel so lucky. And that would also be my advice to you in medical school, in residency. I feel like it's so important to still make time to hang out with your friends, do fun things, and make good memories even when you're kind of tired sometimes. Like obviously if you need the rest. But sometimes you just gotta push yourself and go do something. If I had it my way, I'd just be in bed sleeping all day at 7:30 every single day. You don't want to leave residency and be like, oh, what did I even do? I was just in the hospital the entire time. If you guys made it to the end of this video, I know it was really long. Thank you. And thank you for supporting me this entire time on YouTube, you guys. I can't believe I started this channel when I was like 19. Some of you guys are still here, so I'm just extremely grateful, and I'm genuinely wishing you guys all the best with whatever you're up to in life. I know that life is not easy for anyone. With that, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video.